Hello, good morning and welcome to another episode of WhiteDetails. Full safe wash complete, inside now performing the decontamination stage. You've seen the clay bot already. There's a lot of pickup on the flat surfaces, even with the wash and the initial drying phase. You could feel the roughness, the contamination, and at the start of the video you could see the bobbly tree sap that had been sat on the horizontal surfaces. Roof, spoiler, bonnet, really heavy, needed stripping off. Got the rest of the car to do now. I'm going to put it up in the air, finish the clay bar stages to get the lower portions done easier. And then we need to whip the wheels off, get the wheels outside, but the car is one of one. It's an Audi exclusive colour and it's Ford Imperial Blue. If you remember the early Ford, the Puma, the racing Puma, that was that colour. The ST170, the early generation RS Focus, I believe. Escort Cosworth, I may be wrong in saying that. But it's a Ford colour and it's an Audi exclusive which cost many thousands of pounds to have at the point of order. It's a 2 or 3 stage machine polish, a paint correction process with Medesta coatings, wheels off work. That's about it for 5 days, which should be good as new. Right, still doing the clay bar stage, top of the rear bumper here. Done this half, yet to do this half. See if you can hear the difference in contamination. That's now nice and smooth. Go to this side. And also, I'm going to show you the clay bar. At the minute it's pretty clean. There's not much on there at all. Listen. You can feel it, you can hear it, you can't see it. Really tacky, really sticky. Obviously want to remove it before polishing commences. And now, we're sorted. Ready for the dirt. Pretty grubby. aspects of paintwork. I have done some polishing sets up on the bonnet. I've been playing about with pad, polish, compound, microfiber and wool combinations to try and get the most out of the Imperial blue paintwork. As I say, one of one on this model Audi S4 Avant. It's an exclusive Audi colour, costing a few £1,000s. So the bonnet I've been playing on, and the first thing to note is that the lacquer is hard, it's rock hard. It's a two-stage paint correction, but I'm really trying to chase as many marks out as possible. There's a few deeper rounded off marks here, as you can see. But overall, that sort of stuff you're not going to see in normal daylight conditions. Now, there's a bit of damage down here on the near side rear quarter. There's a lot of buffer trails, holograms, and deeper scratches. To me, these are hedgerow scratches. They run left to right in straight lines, parallel lines. It's been pushed down the hedgerow. And it sounds as though that the dealer that the car was purchased from was prepping the car as the client arrived to collect. They were doing some polishing and whatever else. So holograms induced from rotary mopping. The V of the V60 was already off the car when the owner dropped the car off, and I've even knocked the T off myself. These have been stuck on not very well. They aren't original lettering. The owner has some new ones to replace them, so that's a job to be done soon. Don't know as though yet if it's had any body work, but I'm sure we'll find out later on if it has. There's a small before and after the near side wing, and then the near side corner of the bonnet. Somebody's gone to town on the gloss pillars as well, rotary buffer trails here and here. The worst scratch in the car runs, it's hard to see in the front wing. There's a horizontal, it's part of the hedgerow scratch, more visible here, picks up under the handle, goes across both doors. There's a chip on the door and a chip on that side, they need touching up, and the scratch continues onto the rear panel and here on the rear wing as well. Pretty deep. It's going to take a lot more than just the two-stage polish to remove that, or at least reduce that. When the car arrived, there was a lot of etching up on the roof, and whether you can make it out, still here, so this is going to take some chasing. As well as the V6 turbo badge on the sides, the owner has new S4 badge and the Audi rings, and actually you can see that once upon a time there was a larger set of Audi rings, so these black rings aren't genuine. The larger Audi chrome ring was much bigger, so these rings will come off, correct underneath it, new rings on, the same for the S4 badge down here. Down the offside of the vehicle there are swirls and marring and bits and bobs here and there, but nothing anywhere near as bad as the near side with the hedgerow scratches. There's no holograms or buffer trails here either. Light holograms on the carbon fibre mirror. That's all about there is to it really. Using kamikaze wool on the DA and changing things up somewhat. I'm going with Angel Wax Redemption for the cut, Resurrection for the cut. My go-to first combination was, of course, the microfiber cutting pad and Cartet 3000, but that didn't really give the cut I was after. The marks are deep, the clear coat is nails. It's going to be a long 3 days of polishing, but I can pretty much guarantee this will be pretty beautiful, very beautiful, once complete. It's the morning of day 2 and this is going to take some time. This door alone has taken nearly 2 hours just to get this door to this level. The main concern was the scratch that ran across under the handle, which is then picked up here on this panel. That I have reduced down sufficient amounts, but even the handle was bashed with the hedgerow scratching. So it's slow going, to be honest, and there are lots of sharp edges to worry about, not to put too much focus on, to burn obviously. Hopefully that's the near side complete, or apart from the front wing, which I haven't yet touched, but the worst of the near side is complete. Happy with the deeper stretches that ran across under the handle. I've just sent the owner a quick WhatsApp video to update them on progress. So now what we're going to do is drop the vehicle down to the lowest setting, work on the A to D pillar over the top of the roof rail there. Most of that is work for the nano polisher. Quite ledgy, intricate, small sections. And then of course, not forgetting about the front wing and sorting the badges. Some deeper marks here as well. paintwork looking very sharp, ready for the badges to go on. This is yet to be refined, however. Oops. And then also where the Audi rings sit, looking nice.
Can you see in the back end here, there's a diagonal, there's a shadow on the bumper. The lower you go, the easier it is to see. There, look. That, I've just spotted, is a blend mark. There. There's lots of damage and defects and rub marks, sanding marks, abrasions on that corner. But then it drops down this way. And then looking again at this side of the bumper, this is mottled, dry. It does look like it's been resprayed. So this corner has had some smart repairs for some sort of damage. So this I need to be careful with. Otherwise, the rest of it's coming up okay. Do something about the lenses in a bit. Otherwise, when the bumper is complete, that is the cutting complete, with the exception of the wing mirrors, the carbon fibre mirrors, and the gloss black B and C pillar. Look at that lot. Looks like pretty good soil. That. Oh, wedged up here.
Midday, Thursday, in an attempt to extract as much gloss, clarity and reflection out of the paintwork as possible. I could have probably saved myself 3.5 to 4 hours after the cutting, rather than going cut and refine. I could have gone cut, prime, which is the next lap around the car. I've got to use Modesta's primer in place of before BCO4 goes down, which is the coating. This essentially is like a screed, a base layer to prep ready for the coating. I could have tried to rely on that to do the refining, but actually it's non-abrasive and it almost feels like, which could be a good thing, but also it almost feels like I'm cheating somewhat, whereas I would much sooner get the full result. I've done a refining process with Cartex 12,000 and it's very much benefited from it. So that said, now the refining is complete. You've got to IPA, isopropyl alcohol wipe the whole body work to then use the primer, which we can do the coatings tomorrow. I'm a bit upset and I'll tell you why. We have next door a brand new Audi S4 in Navarra blue dropped off for a new car prep next week. Although there were clear instructions not to wash the car obviously has been prepped. One of the giveaways is black tyre shine has been used, but in an attempt of washing it, look how streaky and smudgy and horrible it is. Look at this, it's horrendous. Near side rear door, abrasions, but if we zoom in the middle of the cluster of abrasions there is a deeper scratch where you can see somebody has been rubbing at that, thumbing it, trying to reduce it, polish it, whatever, but left a bit of a mess at the same time. But when the car was outside, I did spot on the strip here, on the side strip, we do have some damage. And this would be the customer phoning now. The customer knows about this, it's in their hands currently. They're speaking to the dealership to sort of work out an agreement what happens next. But what I reckon has happened, I think the car's been on a ramp, on a 2-post ramp, because this jack point, this side, clearly see that's been used, it's been caught. So if it has been a 2-post ramp, you get the big arms that swing out, and I think that's probably left the damage on the near side, having caught it. Anyway, that's one to look forward to next week. Blow this down, IPA it, start priming, grab a sandwich and a coffee. Up on the roof with the primer down for the body. We can't do the coatings today, it's getting too late in the day, so save that for tomorrow. Look at the water spots. Realised this would be an issue during the decontamination. I saw how heavy and etched the roof was, and the glass unfortunately is no exception. So giving it a bit of a feckle and a bit of a test over here, using a combination of these products. There are still a few ringlets, not yet perfect. So all I can do now, the combination is very much improved though. The combination has been Gion's water spot remover, saturate the towel, give it a good rub with a splash of Kamikaze water spot remover on top. That has been the combination for this so far, but I'm going to do a couple of drops of silica scale remover to add some more bite, because as I say, it's not perfect yet, it's very stubborn. It's going to take some work. It's easier to see when it's wet, but it's the same for the rear screen. This is bitty and mottled and not very pretty. So I'll do a deep clean on this before we do a final clean. At which point, the wheels will be back on, the bodywork will be coated, and everything else will be fettled, including the toothpickery and the door shuts. I've got to say, if this doesn't work, there's always cerium oxide, which is a heavy-duty glass polish, which would do the job. You have to be careful with the applicator that you're using, especially now the temperatures are warming up. This only lasts, I've used one side already, it's going off, you can hear it. I'll do it afterwards, it sets, and this would be essentially a bad idea to use in the paint because it will scratch the lacquer. So you've got to work swift, and you've probably got to use 2 or 3 applicators, certainly 2 or 3 sides. In the bottom there, that's just distilled water, deionized and distilled, which the damp towel is number 1, number 2, number 3, job done. Remember what I said about the applicator? Feel that. It's not fully cured and dry yet, but stretchy. Here's one I used earlier. It's like a brick. Infrared curing process well underway for the S4. It's Friday. Infrared curing process well underway for the estate. Modestus BCO4 needs baking. It needs to be at temperatures north of 50 degrees Celsius to get the coating to behave, to best perform, to get the maximum performance and durability. The wheels are back. They are stunning. They are Raywell design, JJR design, I think. Aftermarket rims, Audi specialists, really nice design. They've been refurbished, a last minute booking for refurbishment in the stunning anthracite satin gunmetal colour. Topped with Modestus BCO6 and awaiting their turn. Lovely. Real nice job. And awaiting their turn from infrared curing lamps. So if you need a set of rims refurbishing,
Visit the link down below for PB Powder Coatings, my wheel refurbishment chaps. And if you have an Audi and fancy a set of similar Raywell design and rims, it's not sponsored, but again, there's a link down below. Way down from Louisiana, down from New Orleans. Do 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 do. Also, what a difference it makes in taking the badges off. That is very fresh now. Underneath, around, above, below. Fresh. Zoom. A fantastic result on the Audi, Ford Audi Imperial Blue. What I have to do still is wipe over the car, which the wheels have already received, but wipe over the car with M1 shot as a very final sort of top layer on top of PCO4, and that's your lot. It will look beautiful in the sunshine if we get some bright skies, bright blue skies tomorrow, which I'm hopeful for. If you don't already, be sure to find WhiteDetails over on Instagram for behind the scenes and updates. I'm sure there'll be more on the Navara Blue S4 next door next week. Like the video if you've enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. 91,200 subscribers, and there is a free detail of some sort to follow if and when we hit 100,000. Just a final shout out then to the WhiteDetail patrons for their support, continued support, and those that have bought me a coffee over the last few months. There's a link below should you want to support the channel. You can buy me a virtual coffee. With all of that said, take care and bye for now.